Let's do it.
All right, we're going live.
Welcome to Reagan's Corner for a showdown between the 5-2 Washington Township Senators and the 8-1 South Central Satellites on the network that puts athletes first. I am Daniel Locke. Alongside me is Raina and Dusty. We are so excited for some girls hoop action. Raina, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Satellites had a big win earlier this week, so I'm excited to see how they play today.
I am too, and I'm really, really excited to just kind of watch how they build off that, and not only how they just get this one, but also taking on North Judson St. Pierre on Saturday, and then at Wheeler next Wednesday. I'm just really interested to see how kind of they keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be just really based off of the games won and lost. It seems like the favorites here are the Satellites, so uh, you know, I think the Satellites play well when they believe they are the better team.
Yeah, and like Olivia Marks just playing out of her mind right now, averaging 16.3 points per game, 6.7 rebounds per game. Then you have Lillian Tolman averaging 2.3 steals per game. So just a very diverse team in what they're able to do. They're able to kill you in many, many different ways. And kind of looking at the Washington Township side, their biggest player seems to be Claire Kinger, who averages 17.9 points per game. If South Central can slow her down, I really like their odds here.
Yeah, I mean they are great at lockdown defense. Um, as a team, they're just constantly in the passing lanes, and they're good even when the other team has a star player of kind of locking her down and bringing her stats down, which is all you can really ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just manage her, find a way to put a cog in their offense. And when this, just looking kind of at this Washington Township team, like looking at what they've done, 1-1 in Porter County, and they're 5-2 on the year. If you look at their losses, they lost 60-52 and 50-44, but they also have a 69-16 win over Wheeler. So if you let them score, they can beat you. You've got to find a way to stop them from scoring. Oh, not to mention on Tuesday night beating 21st Century Charter 69-5. So they can play defense and they can score. So this is a very good team and probably one of the best teams that South Central's played to date. So I'm real interested to see how they respond.
Yeah, like I said earlier this week, they had a really big game against a team I genuinely thought that they would lose to by a few points. Um, and they handle high scoring teams well. They're also a high scoring team, so I'm interested to see if they're gonna slow it down like they did in the last game and really shut down both of them scoring, or if it's gonna be a kind of a run and gun day by both teams.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that. And one player I kind of want to talk about is Kate Welsh, who is averaging 3.3 assists per game. She's second on the team with field goal percentage at 39%. And she leads the team in free throw percentage per game at 69% and 3 point per field goal percentage at 45. So some Kate Welsh threes would just go be the cherry on top for the Satellites here tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
and they don't have the energy that they have at their home gym, so it's gonna be a lot, on those JV girls to really support the varsity when they're out playing. So hoping to hear them be loud and cheer on the Satellites.
Yeah, that'll be a
yeah,
big part
Reina.
of it.
I mean, an away game, I think it's way different from a home game because I mean, you have some fans that travel, but most of the fans are gonna be for Washington Township. Um, I mean, South Central riding this 8 game win streak. Um, they've had a great season already at 8-1, but I think Washington Township is gonna be a really good matchup at 5-2.
Yeah, and I it's just really when the Satellites are able to play their game, they're kind of unstoppable. But it's kind of just a question of how long it takes them to get there, and how long they can hold on to it. The Satellites have started out pretty rough, in games before, and just kind of the stars align and they are back on it. And sometimes they start out very strong, but then, after halftime, they come out and they kind of get lost again. They have to find it. So I think if the Satellites want to win, especially against this high scoring team, it's going to have to get on track very early and stay on track the whole time.
Yeah, I don't see tonight being the type of night where you can mount a 20-point comeback in the fourth quarter. I just don't see that happening. So they're going to have to get out in front of it early.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they do a good job of not letting teams get momentum. Not only with like their coaches' timeouts, they come in at timeouts fairly strong, but they see the team kind of getting, maybe a 5-point lead, a few plays ahead of them, and then their defense gets like really strong. They pick them up at half court. They're guarding the 3-point line. They're in the passing lane. So we're looking for that defense all game here.
Yeah, I agree.
Looking at these shots, they look pretty solid. I mean, I think the boys team has a bit more of an issue with their percentage. The girls is fairly high, so they don't often miss, but there have been a few games where those easy jumpers or those easy layups just weren't aimed well, and there are a lot of missed points. So looking to see them hit the easy shots here, as well as get hot at the 3-point line, which often happens, and it really changes the energy level when you hit 2 threes in a row.
I feel like it's a very big mental thing as far as like kind of the missing easy shots. So if they can overcome that, I really think they'll be able to do some damage out there tonight.
Yeah, and because they know they can. They've done it many, many times. So it's just going to be not letting pressure get to them, which I think they're pretty solid at. But sometimes, especially at the beginning of the game, you can see the nerves with those missed shots.
Yeah.
And, do what they do. They keep their turnovers low, and they need to rebound. Rebounding is huge. I don't think there's too much of high difference on both teams, so it's pretty level playing field of just playing smart and, really wanting the rebounds. You got to want rebounds to elevate your offense and defense.
Right. I think the turnover margin is going to be a big thing in this one. Whoever wins the turnover battle, usually has the edge.
Yeah.
I would say that the core of this team in Marks, Welsh, and Tolman is a really good part of this team, but I think just Olivia Marks by herself really needs to carry the load here.
Yeah, and I think the Satellites are great at causing the other team turnovers. Their defense is just overwhelming at times, and they're always in the passing lanes. When they're hot on their defense, they get a hand on the ball during every play. Most of those turn into turnovers and steals it for easy layups. So that's a big part of their game, is forcing turnovers. And they also do that with strong traps. Their trapping is peak. They get them right in the same spot, and then they have 2-3 girls on them, and they're good at not reaching and fouling and just keeping those arms up, because they know that pass is probably going to be picked up by their other players because they have a lot of trust in each other.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see kind of how that holds up here and against a team that is multi-talented and can do a lot of different things. I'm interested to see if they kind of like keep that strategy or go in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think they gotta, whatever they do, they gotta start out with it and continue it throughout. I think changing the game plan is what the Satellites don't do well, because once things start to get sloppy, the Satellites don't really work well in that kind of play. So they need to be strong, solid passes, and not a lot of loose balls.
Yeah, I agree. and kind of like looking at this team, they do a lot of things, kind of like you said. And tonight's just like I said when we first came on. Tonight's not the night where you're going to really be able to come back in the fourth quarter. Washington Township's just good and is going to kind of prevent that from happening. So they need to be in it from like the get go, and they need to start fast and continue that way. And I really feel like that's the best chance for this kind of satellites team here tonight, because once you get done with this one here, like obviously Saturday night at 6 p.m., you have North Judson St. Pierre. That's an away game. Next Wednesday, the 14th, you have Wheeler. That's an away game. Then on Friday, the 16th, you have Oregon Davis at home. So just three big non-con matchups that you want to be ready for.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, they've had solid wins leading up to this. So I'm sure they have plenty of confidence, as they should. They've showed that even when they don't score a lot, they'll still win in the last game. And, they have a lot of senior leadership, which just, makes each play run smoothly. And, when they get down, they have that experience to get back up and to not, freak out.
Right. Like how Tuesday night, they only needed 34 points to beat Morgan Township because they play that good defense.
Right.
And
yeah, both teams obviously must have had solid defense. If they're both high scoring teams and they only get in the 30s, that's like, they normally get 50, high 50s.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think I'm going to have to pick up a different link here. All right, no, we're good. All right, we got the court back. But yeah, like we were saying, the satellites are so good because they are a team. Every single one of those players fits so well together, and they pass well. They trust each other because you know that they're going to be in the right spot. We have them running out for warm-ups. Looks like we have a solid 6 tonight. Normally 7. And they seem ready to go. They seem energized. You see a lot of confidence in their body language here. So what do we think the keys of the game are going to be tonight?
Wait, did you say Matt?
No, I asked what we think the keys of the game are going to be tonight.
Oh, I thought Daniel was gonna go. I mean, for South Central, I just think that they need to have really good defense early. because when their defense is good, um, I feel like they can compete with anybody. Because I mean, even if their offense isn't clicking, their defense will keep them in games, and so I think that defense is going to be really big for them. I mean, both early and probably late game.
Right. Yeah. And they often, they start with the 1-3-1 most of the time, and sometimes they keep it the whole game. But 1-3-1 is amazing. Those traps are solid. They're hard to get through. But they also switch to man sometimes, kind of a switching man. They play off a little bit, but that's also great when they have, the other team maybe have a player that's being a little hot. They get their strongest defender for the night honor, and they're able to shut them down. Um, and then, the rest of the team is, of course, in those passing lanes all the time. So even when, that player finally gets shut down, all the rest of their teammates are shut down too. So I'm thinking, what they need to focus on a lot is rebounding. They need to get, on offense, those second, third attempts so they can pop up those threes. And, their driving has been great recently. They're able to get through those lanes and, get a 3-point play or, a foul.
And I just realized that my mic was muted while I was giving my key to the game, so I'll do that right now. Claire Klinger of Washington Township averages 17.9 points per game, as well as 5.3 assists. She shoots 46% from the 3-point range. So if you can find a way to keep the ball out of her hands, not really give her any easy looks, that is definitely a step in the right direction for South Central here.
Right, yeah. And now we're in the season, or part of the season, where you're able to get those scouting reports, before you kind of go in a little blind. Of course you played the team before, but freshmen can really be a game changer. So, against an older team like South Central, these scouting reports are kind of big. They know who to guard, and they know any new players that come in won't be a surprise.
Right.
Which is, satellites don't like being surprised. Like I said before, when things get sloppy, they really spiral.
Mm-hmm. And I'm interested to see what Satellite's head coach Ben Anderson kind of has in place to prevent that from happening tonight.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of funny to watch him sometimes bicker with refs, but nothing too much ever. Not a big crowd tonight. Maybe everyone's on the side Josh is on, but I think energy is what the Satellites feed off of when they're home. Their student section is amazing, and not having that is a factor. Not a big one because the Satellites are pretty consistent, but again, those fourth quarters are hard. With here we have the 6 players.
Yeah, because you're not really able to rotate like you could with a full size roster, so you've kind of got to improvise. So I'm interested to see how they can do that.
Oh yeah, looking like some other girls are coming out onto the court. But really, it's just going to be whether or not they're able to play their game. I don't think many teams are able to stop them from, running their offense besides their last game. So it's going to be interesting to see if this team they're playing tonight is going to do the same thing as the team they played, I believe, Tuesday, because that was proven to work. Not enough by 1 point, but keeping them down are about 20 points from their average.
Yeah. So does that say we have 18 minutes and 55 seconds until tip?
Yep, it's looking like it. All right, there we go. Looking like we are down by 1 point, 5-4. Looking like a great student section here too.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it and definitely see it in the bottom right corner of the frame. And that is a Satellites bucket as they are up 6-5. We should see what Washington Township does to respond.
Yeah, this is a great view here. I mean, I think, being this high up, we can really see those fouls a lot better. I think before you kind of have to like guess on what happened, but here you can see exactly how the Satellites are playing defense.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're playing. They're an aggressive defensive team, as you see. Like lots of hands all over the place.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be Washington Township shooting 2. They hit the first.
Yeah, and before you don't really think these free throws mean much, but these free throws at the beginning may decide the game at the end.
Yeah, it's a big deal as they were just able to go back up 7-6. And then just an airmailed pass there by the Satellites will give Washington Township the ball right back. But kind of that's one thing you can't really afford to do much, as this is a very good team, and doing a lot of that, you'll find yourself down pretty quick.
Right, yeah. Every once in a while they throw a pass like that, but overall their passing is spot on. So if they don't have that, that's a big part of their offense.
I agree. And there's 2 more for the Senators as they go up 8-6. And the Senators will have an inbound here. Pardon me, Satellites. Satellites with it. Passing around. Bounce pass over the middle. Driving, and she'll drive in and take that layup. Won't come up with it. Washington Township taking it the other way. That is I think that's a travel.
Yeah, travel will carry something. I'm kind of lucky for the Satellites here, but they need to take advantage of every opportunity.
I agree. That was a good break, but you're not going to get that lucky many more times, as that's another airmail pass.
Yeah, they took a bad drive, and then they throw the ball away twice. And, the minute we've been watching them, they're not locked in yet, which is a bit scary.
No, like you got to be locked in now.
Yeah, you need to be at least not throwing passes away.
Exactly. We'll see what the Senators can do. They drive ball inside, bounce back out.
Yeah, interesting that they're starting out man when they normally start in a 1-3-1, which I think is, they're wanting to shut down that player.
Yeah, solid defense there by the Satellites to take it back the other way. Pass over the middle. On the corner, driving in, wide open look. That's a 3-point attempt. Doesn't quite fall.
And that's what I'm talking about, those rebounds. That was a great play there. Wide open 3, just barely missed it. But that's why you need those second, third chances. Because, she's an amazing 3-point shooter, but still over half the time they're not going to go in.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean both of
side
these
side.
defenses have been pretty good so far. I mean, mm, South Central's still in it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, their defense looking good. It's just the other team's offense has been pretty solid too. So, even though the Stallions are in the right place, they're able to get some pretty easy buckets from their amazing passing. Oh,
That's a tough break there.
hate to see that. And running away from the rebound, you got to be wanting those rebounds.
Yeah, you can't be missing those.
Yeah, I mean, even though it looks like they're not playing too well, it's still only down 2 points. So they're doing enough right now to really stay in it and to set themselves up. Ooh. Good three there. She's right in the face. It's a bit tough.
Yeah, Washington Township just drains one from deep there. Let's see if South Central can respond. Driving in. That's going to be a charge, I believe.
No, I think it was blocking foul, is it not?
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. South Central have an inbound here on the near side.
Yeah, I mean, they both play pretty close man defense. So you're going to probably see a few of those type of fouls.
Yeah. Good recovery there. Out to the corner. Over to the middle. That's up.
Ooh.
And in.
Oh, nice little jumper there.
Satellites cut the deficit to 3 there.
There,
Heading back the other way. With just 1 minute remaining here in the first quarter, the Washington Township Senators lead South Central Satellites 11-8. South Central carrying it up. Let's see what they do. Over back to the middle. Try and find a lane. Pass outside. She'll take it in herself. Finds an option on the perimeter. Back over to the middle. Driving in. And that is a good layup for the Satellites. And the score is now 11-10, which is 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Washington Township driving up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shot clock, so you can take as long as you need to on offense to get that open shot.
Yeah, don't rush it. Don't do anything you don't need to.
Yeah, and they did that right then. If you're holding the ball, the other team's not going to score. So I think that's take your time on offense is really, at the end of the day, what you need to do.
I agree. Play resumes with the inbound. $15 seconds left. Washington Township trying to find a look for some last-second points here in the first. They drive in. Nope. Pass out to the perimeter. She drives back out. Over. Lets the 3 fly, and it falls. Right is basically a buzzer beater as the Washington Township Senators take a 14-10 lead over the South Central Satellites heading into the second quarter.
What are you thinking? What needs to happen here, Dusty, for the Satellites to gain a lead?
I mean, I think they need to look for better shots. I mean, they've been dribbling into the defense. I think they need to pass it more around and trying to find the open man. I mean, but they're right in it. You know, it's only a 4 point game. It was a pretty decent first quarter, but if they were able to find more open shots, then I think they might be up.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. They've taken a few drives that I think were not open, um, and didn't get those fouls. So I think they need to clean it up a little bit on offense. Thrown too many balls out of bounds for just the first quarter. And again, those rebounds are not really. I'm seeing 3, 4 of the Washington Township players up by the rim, while the Satellites are heading back on defense when their shots really aren't on tonight. And so something's always on the Satellites' mind, just fouls. You don't want to foul too much in the first half, or you don't have any to give in the second with such a
Yeah, especially
small
playing
team.
with a small roster tonight like they are.
And again, they don't. That student section's not cheering for you.
No. Plus 3 fly. Doesn't quite get it. South Central have an inbound on the baseline. Trying to find a look out to the perimeter.
Ooh.
And that 3 falls. That cuts the deficit down to 1.
Yeah, I mean, those threes are a big part of the Satellites game.
Which is steal by the Satellites.
Looking like they got another fast break layup there.
Yeah. And we have a tie game here at 14. And there's another steal leading to a... Oh, shot got blocked, I think.
Yeah, a little block there, but, great steal and a good play there,
Yeah.
But I think players often fall into a thing where they're just trying to get the foul and they're not really focusing on making their shot. And in situations like that, you shouldn't be worried about the defenders around you. If it's a fast break, they're most likely going to foul you.
Yeah. Washington Township with it on the perimeter. And that's another steal. I think that's the 3rd straight steal.
Right, yeah, and this is the Satellites game we're talking about. When we said we want them to play their game, it's what's happening right now. They're taking control of the court, really.
Yeah.
Looks like they got another reaching foul, too, which the Satellites want those to build up. Hopefully getting to bonus or double bonus by the end of this half.
Yeah, rack up all the fouls that they're going to give you.
Ooh. Yeah, you could tell by the way she shot that one. That one's going to go in.
No.
A bit awkward with the feet there. Ooh. But you see, their shots just aren't really on tonight. They are every once in a while, but those rebounds are big here. They got a few chances to score there. They didn't, unfortunately, but, they're keeping the ball in their hands.
Yeah. And Washington Township muscles it in for a layup there to go up 16-14. South Central taking it back the other way, driving inside, pass out to the perimeter. Doesn't quite go in, heading back the other way. That's an air ball. And I think a shooting foul called on the satellites there.
Yeah, it's a tough foul to get there. Kind of shifting the momentum a little bit away from the satellites.
Yeah, and it'll be, I think that's Gracie Little shooting 2. Misses the first. Push the second. That'll give the Senators a 3-point lead with 5 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Almost goes AWire there.
There we go. Solid defense there. It's hard not to foul in that kind of situation and still get the ball.
Yeah.
A little late foul call there, but that's what the satellites want in a solid layup for the 3-point play.
And satellites will be shooting 2 here. They get the first. And they get the second. Only down 1. Ball heading back the other way. That's a tough foul. Hate to see that.
That's an interesting call considering she really didn't have possession of the ball at that point, I would say. But, never blame the refs, I guess, for how you play.
Dusty, what have you seen so far with the kind of opportunities that South Central's been producing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, right now it's just their offense that really isn't panning out, I would say. Their defense is giving them plenty of opportunities, but they're just not going in right now.
No.
Only down by 1, though.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Nice. Satellites stuck in a tough spot, but they got fouled out of it. Oof.
That long 3 from the satellites is airballed.
Another foul call on the satellites.
They have to find a way to slow that down.
Yeah, I mean, I think the refs are kind of calling a lot here.
I agree.
Bit of confusion of what's happening. Guess they're giving. Were they in bonus?
I think so.
No. Oh, yes, they are. Okay. Yeah, a little confused there. Yeah. We had a sub for the Satellites. Probably to get some fresh legs on the court.
Yeah, and good defense there. Kind of like,
Mhm.
yep, very good defense there. And that layup is good. Heading back the other way, I think.
They call it.
Not sure I like that one, but
Oh no. Okay, they got the foul.
oh, good.
Yeah. I was like, that's a very big stretch for a charge there, but I think that's kind of when you get a sub, you get some energy, which I think that's what happened there. They just got a fresh player in to kind of up the energy of everyone.
Mm-hmm. Now Washington Township carrying it back up. Satellites up 2.
Yeah.
Heading back the other way. Good defense there by the Satellites.
Lots of fouls being called lately. I felt like at the beginning of the game they were kind of letting them play, but now it's a lot of fouls.
Yeah. Missed free throw there. Okay, misses them both. Heading back the other way.
Ooh.
Long 3.
Long
No good.
three.
Heading back the other way.
Again, like opportunity the Satellites need to capitalize on. And another foul. A long second quarter here. They're stopping play quite a bit.
Missed the first. And the second.
There, yep. Yeah, that was great defense there. She tried to stop her at the sideline, but realized she was going to get beat and just put her hands up instead of getting that reaching foul. And, they got a double dribble. Just smart defense.
Yeah. Heading back up the other way.
Ooh. I mean, when you get that close to the half court line, it's a bit, you're not giving yourself a lot of room to get past those defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Great hustle on defense, though, but they're able to get that rebound, put it right back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Satellites have changed their style of play pretty well here, considering they've got a lot of fouls for how small their team is, and their defense is working just as well, but they're kind of letting the other team make the mistakes instead of, being the one to steal it and getting those reaching fouls.
Yeah, I agree, and it's been good to see kind of like them adjust and do what they need to put themselves in a good position to be successful.
Oh. Seem a bit tired. I mean, the satellites are extremely in amazing condition. But every
Yeah.
once in a while, you kind of see when a player's getting a little tired. Often happens in the fourth quarter, though, so it's a bit interesting to see a little bit signs of fatigue here. Yeah, and she got subbed out there. I mean, I think that's just, a good coach when realizing when one of your players needs to be out and get some rest.
Yeah, I agree. As that one's heading back the other way as the first half winds down.
Yeah, I mean, they're all there for that rebound, but, I think the other team got a little lucky with that bounce straight into their hands. Ooh, right in her face.
Nice three there to add some padding to the lead.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens if you're not playing aggressive defense at the Satellites. That if you're, half a step away, they'll shoot it.
Yeah. As that one's heading back.
Ooh,
And
great.
that one's good, too.
Yeah, it was a good fast break there.
That was.
Looks like it's their ball again. They stepped out of bounds. Lots of delays here, some long delays from the refs. It's the second time.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they called them just stepping out of bounds to their game with the Satellites, but I guess not. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Washington's ball. Another stoppage of the game. Maybe there's something wrong with the clock? That's always a possibility. See, my guess is something's wrong with the scoreboard and clock because it seems like they knew whose ball it is, but
yeah,
they just can't play on, if the clock isn't running. Yeah, I know. I think we've seen a lot of glimpses of the Satellites game in this second quarter. They've played strong. They've had a lot of great plays. Fouled quite a bit towards the middle of it, but it looks like they've toned it down a lot more, and they're still playing amazing defense, but it's kind of, instead of them getting steals, it's turned into them forcing them to have turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
2 seconds. Oh, the buzzer beater again.
Definitely with the buzzer there.
I think it's 31-22 now. Not great for the Satellites. A pretty big lead going into the second half where it's going to be a lot harder for the Satellites to play their games because they play a balanced game, but a lot of it, I would say, about half of it is fast break layups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll
And
see if they
they get that from their
that.
defense because they're able to, get the hands on really any play that's happening, and sort of force Washington Township to make some difficult passes.
Yeah.
Another look at that buzzer beater. So what are you guys thinking? What are they talking about in that locker room right now?
If you're South Central's coach, you're kind of saying like, all right, we're a little careless with the fouls there. Let's try to work on that, and we'll be in a real good position to win. And then if you're Washington Township, you're saying like, all right, let's take care of the ball.
Yeah, what do you? Yeah, I agree. I think they're not horrible with the ball in their offense, but at the beginning it was a little rough. And towards the end, it got a lot better. I think it was a lot more clean towards the end of the half, which is what you're expecting. If they're coming in, they've traveled. They had to get here, so it's pretty normal to have some issues at the beginning. But now they're up by quite a bit, 29-24. It's definitely still doable, but of course it's not what they wanted going into the locker room.
Yeah.
Looks like we got some shooting. I love at the Satellites place they had, I think, like a 3-point competition. If you made it, you got like a 2-liter of soda, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, and that's just the thing is Satellites have a great aura around their sports. They're a lot of support, and they're good too. The girls are good, so they deserve that support.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It does bug me though when people go on the court at halftime because they're getting the court so dirty with all their shoes. It's going to be a little bit more slippery. But
yeah,
we had back at my high school, we had the slipperiest gym because we didn't have a separate gym for like PE class and then for games and stuff. So we had a very slippery court, but yeah, everyone take a look at the merch here for the Satellites. Olivia gets Bucket's hat and crew neck. Very stylish, I think.
Oh yeah.
And it's true. Olivia does get buckets, so
Definitely.
Glad we're able to profit from her amazing play.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. A solid game of knockout. Did you play sports at all?
I did. I played football, golf, baseball, and I wrestled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was your favorite?
Probably baseball. That's when I played the longest.
Okay. Yeah, I can't say I know much about baseball. Actually, I don't think I know much about any of the sports you just said, but yeah, I think in high school I just played basketball and tennis, and I'm sticking to tennis now. But you're a real athlete if you play a lot of sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both teams are going to come out of this halftime being pretty aggressive. I think Washington Township kind of stepped off on defense a bit, because there were a lot of fouls being called, but they didn't do it quite as well as I think the Satellites did, and Satellites were able to get a few threes and some fast break layups because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone on the Satellites is in foul trouble. Probably at most one has 3, which is, yeah, I think they had 6 people, but they might have had their normal 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those issues with the ref kind of allowed the Satellites to get a bit of a break. So that was pretty nice for the Satellites, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. They're even cheering for the knockout game there.
Yeah,
a nice,
good environment.
Yeah, great community. Just buzzing right now. Yeah, I'd love to see the stats of the individual players here. I think they've done a good job of shutting down Washington Township's, number 1 player. I think she's got a few. She's still doing enough for her team here, but
Yeah,
I think the Satellites are, getting more of a feel for how they play, and they got. I think, Washington Township's got at the beginning had a lot of passes down, at the block, and where they got a lot of layups, and the Satellites have done a good job of shutting that down. You didn't really see that as much towards the end of the second quarter, which just goes to show how good the Satellites are at adapting to their opponent and getting right back to their game.
I agree.
Do you think that says 25 or 29?
Where are we looking?
Josh just put it over, but when we get another shot of the scoreboard, I don't know if it's 29, 25.
I can't quite see either.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Satellites, they normally take the full time, to sit down in their locker room. They have a lot of talk about, I think, but really they do have the ability that we saw here to get back in it and to pull out this win. They don't want to lose a win streak here.
I agree.
Losing their first game, I believe, in the second quarter. I think they were up by 14 and then ended up losing in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. But that was really the toughest game they had. After that, they played super well. A few times, they've gotten the lead and maintained it. A few times they've come back. So I think we're going to look at another Satellite comeback here.
I agree.
I think it's confirmed 29-24, and they're up. My bad, I read the scoreboard wrong. Yeah, even better for the Satellites there. Up by 5. I think what they're going to focus on here in the third quarter is getting that lead up. I would say probably to about 10 if they could. So that in the fourth quarter they can really focus on playing solid defense instead of worrying about their offense.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for those fast breaks, those wide open threes, as per usual. And their defense at the end of that second quarter was great. So I think they need to stay with that, and rather focusing on making them turn the ball over instead of, getting on ball and trying to get the reaching in, without fouling.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Washington Township's ball. Hopefully we don't have too long of stoppage time. That second quarter was long.
Yeah.
All right. Bounced really high off the rim there.
Yeah, I thought that one was going up to the moon. South Central with it.
Oh, right off the foot of the Satellites, and they get a fast break layup.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of unfortunate there. A silly mistake. Really, with this angle, you could really see how hard those passes are and how dead on they're able to aim it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Washington Township's playing, also solid defense. I think the Satellites are good at passing it to get wide open threes, and I think that really only happened about once or twice.
Yeah.
The rest of the threes have been, right in their face, or they've been getting those layups. Good ball. I mean, this is a nice gym too. Just looking around that, a great facility to be playing in for Washington Township.
Yeah. Very, very fortunate to have it.
Yep. Just amazing passing. The Satellites are always where they need to be, because, like I said before, they trust each other, and a lot of they're an older team, so they've been in it for a lot longer than I think some of the other teams in their conference. I think it's 29-33 Satellites. Were they up by 5 at the half?
Yeah, 29-24.
Yeah. So we're having a look at our next game on December 13th. They're playing. Oh, we have an interview. Those are always great. It's always nice to get some perspectives from the athletes.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, not pressing, which I think is a bit interesting.
Yeah, certainly an interesting choice.
Maybe their press isn't that good, but I think the Satellites are pretty good at breaking presses too. I think they get stuck maybe 1 or 2 times, but then after that, their passing is just too good to get stuck on it for too long.
I agree. Heading back the other way.
Yeah, I mean, just again on their passing, it's kind of hard to teach players to pass. Oftentimes you over dribble, and that's just never been an issue for the Satellites. And it just goes to show how coachable they are, and teamwork is important to them, which is hard to find sometimes.
I agree.
Ooh, an awkward layup with the rebound to get a good layup. Ooh, great drive, just off balance. I hit it way too hard off the glass.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, they get it right back. Ooh, another missed layup. Those are tough, those are the ones when you're looking at the score, you're like, those points should have been up there.
Mm-hmm.
They get the foul, though, over the back reaching foul. Which is why you box out. You box out so you're in a better position to get the rebounds, and you can hopefully get that reaching foul, which is easy to do. Ooh.
Good play there.
Again, those are powerful passes. They got her full hand on it, and it's still just tipped up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a timeout after Washington Township gets a nice open three. Yeah, I think the Satellites, they're getting those layups, but they're not getting the threes, which is, I think why they're kind of slowly losing their lead here.
Mm-hmm.
Those threes are pretty big and getting the leads that they need for the fourth quarter. So, I think that's something they're going to have to try to figure out how to get open on the three-point line.
I agree.
I think I'm not too sure how their offense is supposed to run, but I do think the players oftentimes I see, two or three of them kind of standing still while the other players are doing stuff. I think to get those open threes, they're going to need to have a little bit more movement on their offense.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And, like this 5-point lead, like that can evaporate quick. So you've definitely got to find a way to kind of like keep playing your game and just maintain focus.
Yeah, exactly. Up 5 points is just 2 plays away from being tied.
Exactly.
Or even, them getting the advantage. So that's why I'm saying I think about a 10-point lead into the fourth quarter is, kind of the line where the Satellites would be comfortable going into the fourth. But, that's hard to get. They're a pretty even team. Washington Township isn't going down without a fight.
No.
On their defense here, they're way closer like they were at the beginning of the first half because those fouls are kind of gone. They're not in bonus anymore. And just flustering the Satellites a bit. Their passes are having a bit of trouble getting to their spots.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. I think they're just waiting on the subs here. Again, another long stoppage of play. Great for the Satellites to get a little break.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that one's heading back the other way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a good call there. She was set, but again, it's kind of the thing that a lot of players fall into is that they're going to the bucket to try to get a foul, and they're not really thinking about scoring. And things like that happen. You know, you don't get the foul call, and it's their ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they put a lot more emphasis on their rebounding. Ooh, in and out there. But you know, their girls are down in their boxing out, so I think they might have to talk about their rebounding.
Yeah, I think so too. Now be South Central at the line again. Hit the first.
Yeah, she is solid on her free throws. I'm sure she has a pretty high percentage.
Yeah.
And I think Washington Township has to realize that, you know, he's the one person you probably don't want to foul and get to the line.
Yeah, I agree. Deep three, no good. Heading back the other way.
There's a solid defense there, just overwhelming the Washington Township players. But they did get out of it.
They're going to get called over the back.
Yeah, you know, I don't think we've seen a lot of trapping in this game today. I think you know, Washington Township is a good team on offense and not getting the ball stuck in those trapping spots of the court.
Yeah, I agree. Good defense there.
Yeah, but again, those rebounds, they just said, oh, just kidding. But, you know, when they get those rebounds and you're playing good defense, they can just, you know, restart their offense. Again, no shot clock. Yeah, I mean, great post play there. Unfortunate she didn't get fouled on the shot. Foul was called before that, but those are looks into the lane that I don't think the Satellites get a lot. But they're really only getting layups here.
Yeah.
The Washington Township's fouls are adding up here. 2 in really just one play.
Yeah, they've kind of got to. If they want to like chip back in, they can't afford to have South Central in the bonus. They have to find a way to kind of stop them in a different way.
Yeah, right. This is kind of the situation that both teams were in halfway through that second quarter. But now, only Washington Township's in that, the Satellites have kept a solid defense. As we just see. Ooh. Oh. Another interesting foul call, I would say. I think the ball was kind of loose there. The Satellites sub in again. Ooh. Great hustle there, arm straight up to prevent that foul, and then they get the rebound, which just, slips right out of their hands.
Yeah.
But they're there.
Washington Township with it. Trying to make something happen here.
Yeah, I mean,
good defense by the Satellites. Yet again, here's another fast break. And that's a foul.
Yeah, I mean, defense was just plowing through those screens. And they're able to get that fast break layup. They're just very committed on defense, which is exactly what you want from your players as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like a no excuses type team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't ever see them, talk to the refs or anything about a bad call. And they have great sportsmanship. They help each other up off the ground. Ooh.
That's a wide open three. Unfortunate miss there. But yeah, they just have a really good culture.
There's 6 fouls already in the third quarter. I mean, it's looking pretty good for Satellites going into the fourth.
It is.
They can kind of switch their offense back to driving and force more fouls or wide open layups.
Yeah.
Tough there. Solid defense really up until the end. Just a little touch there caused the foul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they only had like a second left on the clock in the third. So a bit of a silly foul there. And she makes both of them. Ooh. Right. I think Satellites just have to think no fouls here. Hands straight up, feet set. You can try to get that inbound pass, but really, even if you do that, you don't really have enough time to score either. So, just smart defense here. Yeah.
Yeah. And as the end of the third quarter, the Satellites have 42-36 lead. So, still kind of a nail biter here. It's a 6-point lead and can be gone within seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good lead for the Satellites here. 2 possessions to tie them. And it's up from at the half.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of showing that the Satellites, at the very least are on par with what they were at the second quarter.
Yeah.
And it's looking pretty good for the Satellites. They're a consistent team, and it really hasn't been broken here in the second half at all. Not their best, I would say. I think things haven't been as clean as they normally are for the Satellites, but at the end of the day, they're still in the lead here.
Right.
And now's, I think, the fourth quarter is a time where, like I said before, it's just going to have to be smart defense that's going to win the game for them. Their offense is kind of working. They're not really getting the wide open shots that they normally do, but they're able to score enough to keep pace with Washington Township. And, I'm looking to see the Washington Township is probably going to be a bit more aggressive. I think they need to get the Satellites fouls up. I think they're up 6-1 fouls, maybe 6-2.
Yeah.
That was a rough quarter for them.
It was, yeah. So I'm kind of interested to see like what they kind of do to kind of like play more disciplined and keep less free throw chance. And there's another fast break.
There we go. I mean, coast to coast. That's kind of the defense they can play when they only have 2 fouls to your 7. They can play close, and you really can't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he got stuck there a little bit, and it's out of bounds. Yeah, they're not coming out of this that little break here very well. And the Satellites are
right,
which is really the momentum they need for this fourth quarter.
I agree.
Oh, an amazing pass into the post. We don't see a lot of post plays, I'd say, but this game I've seen a few that were really solid.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, again, that defense isn't really stealing the ball as they are doing, but about half of it is causing them to make some silly turnovers.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be interested to see if they kind of like keep that up, like clean it up, just kind of, like being down 10. You really got to play disciplined, and they just aren't really doing that.
Yeah, totally right. The Satellites have found the fundamentals, and Washington Township really just has it on their defense.
Mm-hmm.
I do still think their offense is a little bit better than the Satellites is at this point. But they're the ones that has to overcome, this 10 points.
Right. Yeah, I think that was a 3-pointer.
Yeah, looked like it.
If so, I'll cut the deficit to 7.
Ooh, and right back. Those fast break layups add up, and it really changes the moment. You hit a 3, and then they get a fast break right after that. It's gonna dampen your mood.
Right.
Another timeout. I mean, the Satellites are doing exactly what they need to do here. It's not perfect, but it really doesn't need to be.
No.
They're doing just enough. And I wouldn't say just enough. They're playing well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're just kind of skating by here. They're solid. They look confident. They should be confident. They're on an 8-game winning streak. Confidence is high, which is, a big part about winning is how confident you are.
Mm-hmm.
We have the merge here again. Olivia gets buckets. Yeah, I mean, she really does it. She's playing great here too, as per usual.
Yeah, it's just part of her game. Just show up, get buckets, and leave. Inbound coming. You'll get another one here.
A foul there. Not great coming right out of the timeout. But it's kind of 50-50 if the Satellites are going to be right out of the timeout, how they're going to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, great hands.
Heading back the other way.
Yeah, great hands. Just couldn't finish it there. That's all right, though.
Yeah.
Her defense is great right now, doing a lot for them. A bit of a collision there. Always a little nerve-wracking. You don't, especially for satellites, they can't afford an injured player.
No, not at all. This promising looking season could be over real quick if they have injuries.
Yep. Yeah, which is, quite a bit of pressure on the athletes. I think they handle pressure extremely well, but I can't imagine how hard it would be to come back after an injury as a team. Because they work so well together as a team, Their chemistry is high up there for a high school team. Great take. An off-balance layup causing another timeout. Yeah, the Satellites' hands are just, amazing. They're all over the place. And it's controlled, when they tip the ball, it's not going like flying everywhere. They're able to gain possession of it after they tip it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, the other team just, I'm not sure what they need to do. They can't really play more aggressive. They're in bonus. I'm sure they have a few players in foul trouble. And the Satellites are not holding back either. They haven't really tapered off, which is, goes to show their conditioning is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And, coming out of this timeout, again, still up by 10, 7-4 fouls, Washington. They just need to maintain their clean play. Yeah, the Satellites have done an amazing job of shutting down Washington's top player. I think, you said before, they've scored in the 60s before, and they're stuck at 40 with not a lot of time to really catch up. Their time's running quick, about 5 minutes. Not a lot for a 10-point lead.
No, not at all.
Especially when the Satellites are playing like this. They're still getting these rebounds and fouls. It's tough for the other team,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
playing a team that really never gives up.
Another good free throw night. Gives them an 11-point lead with 4:51 to play.
All right, that brings a lead up to 11. Jump ball. Yeah, this hasn't really been a chaotic game at all. Not a lot of loose ball fouls. I think we've seen before a few times that some off-ball fouls of just both teams being too aggressive. It just seems like the Satellites are the aggressive one here, and the Washington Townships are on the back foot. I'd say since the half.
Yeah.
They just haven't been able to really get into it for very long.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of, you're getting to the point where it's kind of going to be a little too late here soon. So if you're going to make a push, you really want to make it.
Yeah, I think now for the Satellites, they should be focusing on passing it around on offense and, getting time off the clock.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they just don't seem very locked in anymore, as you can see on those shots, just, right over the rim twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not what you want to see as a coach.
No, not at all. I'm interested to see if they can kind of fix that moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, now they're up by 12. With only 9-5 fouls. They have 2 more to give. This is the second out of the 1-1, but they've been great at the free throw line this game. Yeah, these free throws are big for Washington, so that miss is a bit, you get the excitement of you got fouled, but you got to make the free throws to really feel good about it.
Right. Otherwise, it's just kind of a waste.
Yeah.
This is going to be a hard deficit to overcome.
Right, yeah. And, they don't want to, you don't want to give the Satellites any time to relax. You want to keep the pedal to the metal too, It's hard. It's hard to break them endurance-wise, but
yeah.
kind of what you have to do here. They're playing very aggressive. Yeah, it looks like the Satellites are holding the ball, passing it around, waiting for, probably something wide open. They're going to take everything else is kind of off the table.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a reaching foul, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is they don't have the fouls to give, to try and get possession of the ball.
Yeah, and it's just looking like the Satellites are going to be 9-1.
Yeah, it's looking like it, and they're good free throw shooters. So even there's not really a single player you can get to the line and kind of feel comfortable that they might miss. They're all pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, she makes both of them there. Yeah, I mean, I think at the timeout or a call probably, but Yeah, they had 2.5 minutes left. I'm gonna guess that most of the time that's gonna be in the hands of the satellites, passing it
Yeah,
around. We're good at passing, and I think Washington's defense has been pretty solid, but in this fourth quarter, it's kind of I would say like tapered off a bit. They couldn't be as aggressive because of the fouls that they gave in the third quarter.
yeah.
This is always the part where it kind of drags out a little bit.
Yeah.
Washington's still having, that little bit of hope, but they're going to win this. It's probably going to take a lot of luck. The satellites aren't backing down.
No.
Yeah, I felt a little nervous at the beginning. They were playing a bit sloppy at the beginning. Didn't seem like they were playing their game, but they, of course, cleaned it up and played their game.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, had a kid screaming there. Yeah, I mean, the supporters that were able to make it to this game, what a good one they got to see.
Oh yeah,
I think it's
makes it
worth the
worth the
trip that
drive
they
for
made.
sure.
Good look there, but not quite. You sound like it's the rebound.
No.
And she dribbles right out of that press, but throws the ball away. Yeah, I mean, I think Washington should start pressing a lot sooner. Again, the satellites don't really get too stuck on them, but it does add a little bit more pressure that the satellites have to get through
Yeah,
to
I
even
agree.
start their offense.
Chipping away at it a little bit there.
Yeah. I mean, they're in bonus now. Satellites have 7 fouls. So, they can be aggressive on defense or on offense to capitalize on that.
Yeah. South Central just kind of running out the clock here.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a tough part as a team to pass the ball around, trying not to get fouled. It takes a lot of teamwork. That's what the Satellites have. They have plenty of teamwork. And they're smart. They're good at not taking bad shots
Yeah.
or unnecessary shots at this point. Probably the last time out of the game being called. With about 30 seconds, I believe, on the clock. The Satellites have done a great job, as per usual, maintaining their lead in the second half, building it up even.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a tough team to beat. I think any team kind of scouting them, I think has to learn a lot from the last game that they played on stopping them defensively.
Yeah. Yeah.
This game probably helps bring their average up a little bit for scoring, since they only scored around 30 in the last game.
Oh yeah, it'll help for sure. Like one of their better offensive performances this year, so it'll
Yeah.
put the average up pretty good.
And both teams playing as hard as ever anyways. Look at the score. Both teams are still pretty aggressive.
Yeah, just might as well get some good solid reps in for the next one. Be
Yeah,
prepared.
exactly. I think it's more respectful to play your best the whole time, even though you're up.
Yeah.
It's just how you play your best changes a little bit in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, like when it's obviously early or when it's a close game, playing your best just means keeping the pace with the game. And then once you get to a point like this, it's just kind of perfecting areas that you just kind of need some reps with.
Exactly, yeah. And going back to those fundamentals and hammering those down. Holy foul. Shooting foul called there, like another silly foul, but it's not too detrimental.
Nah.
Just kind of pushing things along. Yeah, look at the sides. Don't even look tired. Got another foul there.
Yeah, they're refusing to go down.
Yeah, I mean, respectable.
True. And that'll do it. As the South Central Satellites improved 9-1 on the year, knocking off the Washington Township Senators. by a score of, let's see if I can get it here, 58-43.
Yeah, I mean, great ending by the Satellites. Never really letting them get past their lead.
No. So any closing thoughts from y'all?
Yeah, I mean, another solid game by the Satellites. As per usual, pretty clean, well done. Beginning was a little rough, but really not that bad. And they ended it out playing Satellites ball.
Yeah. As always, very fun to watch, very fun to be a part of it. I'm definitely looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Another Satellites win. And a pretty good game to watch, too.
Oh, yeah.